Habibis, when does a blip become a full-blown crisis? Manchester City, yes, that Manchester City, the dominant force of English football under Pep Guardiola, just lost their 5th game in a row. Let me repeat that, 5 consecutive losses. Spurs didn't just beat them, they humiliated them at the Etihad, 4-0. For context, this is the club that went over 2 years without a home league defeat. Welcome back to episode 2 of Pundit Habibi, the podcast where football meets deep analysis, and the beautiful game is never short of drama. I'm your host, your Pundit, your Habibi, and today, we're talking about the age-old question, when will be the year of Man City? Well, for starters, this isn't the City we're used to seeing, and the question on everyone's mind is, what on earth is going on? Is this just a bad spell, or are we witnessing the beginning of the end of an era? Let's start with Saturday's disaster at the Etihad. For the first 10 minutes, everything seemed fine. The fans were buzzing, Rodri showed off his shiny Ballon d'Or, and Haaland had a couple of golden chances to score. It felt like business as usual. But then, collapse. Spurs, under Ange Postecoglou, executed a masterclass in counter-attacking football. Dejan Kulusevski's majestic passing, James Maddison's clinical finishing, and the clever play of Son Heung-min ripped City apart. 4 goals later, it was City's worst home league defeat since 2003. Pedro Porro and Brennan Johnson piled on the misery, and what did City have in response? Absolutely nothing. Guardiola took off his coat in frustration, but even that couldn't inspire his players. This wasn't just a loss, it was an unraveling. Now, let's zoom out to Pep Guardiola, the man who revolutionized football at Barcelona, Bayern, and City, is in uncharted territory. He's never lost 5 games in a row in his managerial career. This isn't just a statistical anomaly, it's a crisis. So, what's behind City's struggles? Let's start on the pitch. Number 1. Rodri's absence. Rodri, the linchpin of this team, is irreplaceable. His season-ending injury has left City's midfield in tatters. Ilkay Gundogan, Bernardo Silva, and Rico Lewis simply couldn't cope with the pace and power of Spurs' midfield yesterday. And don't forget, Gundogan isn't the same player he was a few years ago. Number 2. Defensive frailties. City have conceded 14 goals in their last 5 games. For a team that prides itself on control and structure, that's catastrophic. Injuries to Ruben Dias and John Stones have exposed their backline, and Kyle Walker, who's been a rock for years, looks like age is finally catching up with him. Number 3. Attacking inefficiency. What's going on with Erling Haaland? He's gone from being a goal machine to a player struggling for service. When City needed him to step up yesterday, he was nowhere to be found. But it's not just what's happening on the field. City are battling fires off the pitch too. Number 1. 115 financial charges. The Premier League's charges for alleged financial breaches are a cloud hanging over the club. It's affecting their ability to attract top talent. Let's face it, no superstar wants to risk joining a club that could face massive penalties, a points deduction, or even expulsion from the league. Number 2. Leadership changes. Siki Begiristain, the director of football and Guardiola's trusted ally, is set to leave next summer. For a manager as meticulous as Pep, this kind of upheaval is unsettling. Number 3. Aging squad. Key players like Kevin De Bruyne, Walker, and Gundogan are on the wrong side of 30. Guardiola needs fresh legs, but City's failure to sufficiently replenish their squad over the summer is coming back to bite them. Selling Julian Alvarez without replacing him was a questionable decision, to say the least. Now let's address the elephant in the room. Is this the end of Guardiola's dominance at City? It's tempting to say yes, but let's not write them off just yet. This is a team with immense quality, and Pep has been in tight spots before. Remember, this is the guy who reinvented football with tiki-taka and then proved he could adapt with City's more direct style. However, the cracks are undeniable. The age of the squad, the off-field distractions, and the glaring defensive issues are all signs of a team in transition. Transition, as we know, can be messy. So, what's next for City? Here's the reality, Habibis, City have no time to wallow. Next up, they face Feyenoord in the Champions League, tomorrow. That's followed by a daunting trip to Anfield to face Liverpool on Sunday. Kyle Walker said it best, we can't perform like this against Liverpool or we'll get walked over. Anfield is make or break. If City can pull off a win, it could be the spark they need to turn things around. But if they lose, well, the crisis deepens. So, where does this leave Manchester City? They're wounded, but not yet defeated. This is a defining moment for Pep Guardiola and his team. Can they rise from the ashes, or are we witnessing the decline of a dynasty? One thing's for sure, the next few weeks will be crucial. Football's greats don't crumble without a fight, and if there's one thing Guardiola knows, it's how to fight back. That's it for today, Habibis. Thanks for tuning into Pundit Habibi. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more football analysis and passionate takes. This is Pundit Habibi, where the beautiful game meets honest punditry. See you next time.